Hi, have fun listening to weird music while I do NFL stuff. So, maybe. Okay, I'm just gonna type all the stuff. So, I'm just gonna type the actual winner for Week 12 games. So, have fun with tedium. And hope I don't mess this up. So, now we've got a formula. So, now we'll copy and paste this over to here, but change it to week 12, and then this goes to this, so that works, and then now we have to change these to, so last week we had 101 correct, 101 plus 10 is 111, and then we had 63 plus 6 is 69. Perfect amount of incorrect predictions. So, so as of week 12, that is my record. So, let me just double check, make sure I did this correctly. I already knew. It's fine. We're good. I kind of just want to look and see if there's any surprising result, or like I kind of want to look at those 4 games where I predicted upsets last week. I went 1-3 in that stretch of 4 games, which is saying something. Like, don't predict upsets. Just don't predict it. Yeah, but guess what? If I was to never predict the upset based on record, then what would be the point of doing these predictions? Anybody can just look to see which team has a better record than the other team. Um, like the only one I got correct, the only upset I predicted correctly was the Broncos beating the Browns. But every other upset that I predicted did not happen. But anyways, like the Giants, one with the third string quarterback. Like 2 of the 3 were like, it's a third string quarterback. They should not win. I was right on that Browns Broncos, but not. Apparently, a third string quarterback won. That's just how bad the Patriots are, I guess. Colts beat the Buccaneers. And then the other one I missed was. Also, I predicted Saints to beat the Falcons just based, like, almost entirely based on record, and that was wrong. And the other one I missed was. What? Well, I obviously got that wrong, but that wasn't the one I'm thinking. Okay, Jaguars, Texans. I predicted the Texans to win. It was actually pretty close. It was like a missed field goal away from being different. Anyways, stop. Am I really gonna do this? Just go through every incorrect prediction? Who could have possibly seen the Packers beating the Lions? That one was kind of a tough one. How did a third string quarterback win? Oh, they played the Patriots, who are like the worst team this year. Jaguars Texans was pretty tough to predict. That one I almost did it almost entirely based on record, and I was wrong. And then this one, that was crazy. Um, 12-10. Uh, but anyways, so week 13. How many teams have a bye week? Uh, I don't think any team had a bye week in week 12 because there were 16 games. That's how it works, right? Um, so now there's going to probably only be 14 games this week, right? How do I? Dang it. So, week 13. Oh, and also, I did change the thing. We have to type all of the things. So, week 13. I already did my Thursday video. I already predicted that. So, I pushed the enter key. What the heck? That was funny. Man, I better not get. I better not mess up here. 49ers Eagles. Oh, there's even less. There's only 13 games this week. So 6 teams have a bye week. Finally, all the rest of the teams are going to get their bye week, I think. And it's harder when the thing is like, you know what, now I can fix this. There. Well, this is going to be the week with the least amount of games. I never knew that week 13 had the least amount of games out of any week. So, I don't know. Well, now I'll just fill in the ones that are kind of obvious, at least to me. Okay, I think that one's a kind of tough one, but I'm leaning towards Texans there. Okay, we're on a streak of really easy games here. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Dang, this is so easy. Okay, that finally a tough one. That one's a little bit tough. Probably Rams, and then now this is interesting. The Packers have been doing well lately, but I'm still going to choose the Chiefs, obviously there. Bengals lost their starting quarterback, Jaguars. Wow, we only have 3 difficult games this week. probably because there's only 13 games. So let's see here. Are we almost to the end of this playlist? No, not even close. So anyways, so I'm leaning Texans on this one. Do they have the same record? Actually, I think they're both 6-5. Um, yeah, they have the same record. Oh my goodness. So, I'm gonna hold off on that. But I don't know. If I was going okay for that one, I mean, I could just look at TFG's power rankings and just choose the better team on all three of these, or I could look at their records and see who has the better record. Although it's completely irrelevant with the Browns because they lost their starting quarterback. 49ers, Eagles. Who has the well? Obviously, the Eagles have the better record. They're like 10-1. The 49ers have like a 3-game losing streak in the middle of the season out of nowhere. But let's see. Based on TFG's analysis, I would pick the 49ers for that one. But based on record, you would pick the Eagles. So that's kind of a tough one. Browns, Rams. I would pick the Rams because they just don't have the Browns just don't have a quarterback. Like they're stuck with PJ Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback. And they did win some games with those two players, but I don't think they can really keep that up. I think they may have just I don't know. What last week what happened? Did they lose to the Steelers? 16-10? Dang it. No, I'm thinking I got that confused with the Steelers Bengals. They actually lost the Broncos 29-12. And if the Browns defense is so good, then how did the Broncos score 29 points? And also, I think TFG said the Browns are experiencing some injuries. So, like he said that they've had more injuries lately. So, that's actually not going to be that difficult there. Pick the Rams. But I don't know. I could still see them winning like a defensive game, like 13-10 again, or something. But still gonna pick the Rams. And then that's tough because record conflicts with TFG's analysis. This was tough. They have the same record. Man, why is it so hard to predict Broncos games all the time? Like, remember that 2 weeks ago when it literally took me 20 minutes to predict a Broncos game? And I kind of just went with the Broncos because it felt like the less fun thing that would happen, and I just thought the less fun thing is always going to happen. So I just picked the Broncos to beat which team was it? The Vikings, and they did. It's like the Broncos are just going to beat the Texans because of course. Now, why am I hating on the Broncos? I don't know. They're just not as exciting of a team for me for some reason. It's like the Texans have their rookie quarterback playing extremely well, and they're like 6-5, and it's really exciting. But then they're just going to go and lose to the Broncos because, of course, we can't have nice things. So we have 2 tough games to think through. Let's see how much time I've taken. Only 14 minutes. So hopefully it doesn't take me another 45 minutes to come up with an answer for these. I mean, I could just go off of I could come up with some split-second decisions on this, but I just want to think about it for a few more minutes. So, is there anything else I know about those 2 teams that might swing it one way or the other? Texans are just like inexperienced. Like they've been a terrible team for like the last few years, and now they're all of a sudden they're actually good. And I don't know. But then again, they did lose last week, but it was a very tough, close game with the Jaguars, who are a good team, and they only lost because they missed 2 field goals. So And the Broncos started 1-5, and now they're 6-5. And they even beat the Chiefs and the Bills during that stretch. So, and the Browns aren't like the easiest win either. I mean, um, so this is kind of hard to predict. This one is this could end up being like the game of the year. I don't know. Um, it's literally like the two best teams in the entire league playing. That could be like, oh wait, never mind. That can't be a Super Bowl because they're both in the same conference. That could be like the NFC Championship, which it actually was the NFC Championship last year. So I I'm not going. As you can see, I don't have very very much information to go off of here because I don't have very much like actual good personal knowledge of the NFL record. I could just go off of record, pick the Eagles, but I could just go off of TFG's opinion and pick the 49ers. And the Eagles had a very impressive win last week against the Bills. But the Bills have not been that good this year. But they were really good last week against the Eagles, except that they lost. But, I mean, how on earth are the Eagles 10-1? It's so funny how the only loss the Eagles have is to the Jets. The Jets of all teams. But anyways, let's see here. I feel like it would just be a cop-out to pick. Like, basically, if I pick the Eagles and just be like, they have a better record, they're going to win, that would be lame. If I pick the 49ers and be like, TFG likes the 49ers in this game, so I'll pick the 49ers, that's lame because I'm not really coming up with my own analysis. I don't have any analysis to give. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. So the Eagles have a better quarterback, maybe, but I mean Brock Purdy's playing pretty well. So dang, two teams are really good. I'm trying to think of like the individual players on each team, but I really can't come up with anything here. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna trust TFG. Go 49ers. Sorry, I can't really give my own analysis on it. And then this one. Man. I'm not even thinking about this game. I'm thinking about the 49ers Eagles game because I'm like double. I'm like, what is it called when you made a decision and now you're rethinking the decision. Like you keep thinking about it even though you already made the decision. Okay, stop. Runk. I could go with the same strategy I went with 2 weeks ago and be like, the less fun thing is going to happen. So Broncos. Dude, I just have a hunch that that's just going to happen. Like the Texans are just not going to. It's like it's such a fun story, but it's not going to last. And they're just going to finish like 8-9 and miss the playoffs. But it just feels like that's going to happen because that's how life is. It's just not fun ever. So, again, that's not an argument. How on earth are the Broncos winning five? How did they just win 5 games in a row, anyways? Man, why is it always the Broncos, man? Why is it always the Broncos that I can't predict? But I did predict them 2 weeks ago. In fact, the last 2 weeks I got their I predicted their game correctly. It's just that I'm always stuck on their game because I don't know if they're going to keep winning. It just seems weird that they're just winning all these games. um, this could be a really interesting game. It's like two teams outperforming expectations, and let's see what team comes out on top. Okay, I need to stop walking away from my computer. I've realized that if I walk away from my computer, you can't even hear what I'm saying. But anyways, I've been picking the Texans a lot this year, and it's paid off a little bit, but sometimes it doesn't pay off for me. Last two times I picked the Broncos, they won. So, but that's not how it works. It's not. That's not sound logic. What I don't know enough about the NFL. I really. It's not like I should be watching more NFL content to get more information about the teams. It's just that I should if I want to actually give accurate predictions, but I don't really. I just watched one single podcast essentially at this point. Like, two. I watched two podcasts, but one of the podcasts is actually just a Bears podcast, so I really don't have too much information here, right? Let's see here. Um, Dude, I'm literally gonna have the same thing happen again that happened 2 weeks ago. Oh, where I'm stuck on the Broncos game for the entire rest of the video. The Broncos, some teams are just have just screwed me over so much in these predictions. But again, the Broncos haven't screwed me over. It's just that I've been stuck on their games for the last few weeks because it's like, how on earth do they keep winning when they started 1-5? I'm sorry, I don't know why I feel this way. I just feel like I just feel like you know what? It's a 50-50 game. I don't care. Wait. I could look at TFG's power rankings and see. Dude, I think he has them rated literally right next to each other in the power rankings. Like number 10 and number 11. I think that's what he has it as. He has the Texans at number 10 and the Broncos at number 11. If I remember that correctly. Okay, so yeah, this whatever pick I make for this game, it's not going to be for any actual logical reason because I just don't have enough information. I just don't. I mean, I don't. I mean, I could look it up. I could look up information about the teams, but what information am I supposed to search for here? Injury report? Is there some kind of injury report? Okay, fine, whatever. I'll just look it up. Let me just see if there's anything in the injury report. Where's the full injury report? Did we get to the end of the soundtrack? Yeah, we did. Let's see. What is this one? Texans. Now let's. We got Texas favorite according to Vegas. That's some information. Wow, the Texans are favored. That's cool. Wow. 8 players injured versus 6. But let's see who they are. Texans, Dalton Schultz out. Detail Sheldon Rankins, Jake Hansen, Noah Brown, wide receiver, questionable. Tank Dell, questionable. Oh, that's actually going to be huge because Tank Dell has been really good this year. Limited participation. He has 700 yards already. What? My goodness. 7 touchdowns. Noah Brown has 400 yards. My gosh. All these random receivers are getting up yards because of CJ Stroud. Oh, what is this? That's interesting. He has a little bit of an injury here. He already has 3,200 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Okay, and then Broncos. Sorry, I don't recognize some of these players. Jerry Jeudy is unknown. The kicker is unknown. That's kind of weird. Marvin Mims. So the interesting thing about the Texans is Tank Dell is questionable. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign at all. That's the biggest thing I've taken away from this. Noah Brown has actually been pretty decent this year too. So, I mean, like, all I know about Noah Brown is his stats that they listed, and then that one game where I watched the highlights of the CJ Stroud game where he threw like 470 passing yards and 5 touchdowns, and Noah Brown caught like it had like 200 yards or maybe like 150 yards receiving. And I was like, what? How is this guy the leading receiver? But anyways, Dalton Schultz also is like tight end. Well, obviously. But no, he's like, isn't he kind of a good player though? So their good tight end is out. 2 of their good receivers are questionable. That's kind of concerning for the Texans. So should I just based on that? I don't know. The Texans are still favored by Vegas. Right? It says if it's minus, that means they're favored. Or like spread Texans -3, that means they're favored. So man, this is so hard. Like, dude, I think I probably would have picked the Broncos, but then I saw what is it called? The spread and the money line. What's the difference between the spread and the money line? I don't know. I'm dumb. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know what? I'm sorry. The injuries, the questionableness of the two wide receivers seems kind of like it should be a bigger factor in this whole thing. Why on earth are what if Tank Dell and Noah Brown can't play at full strength? And Dalton Schultz is out. That's like three of their receivers that could potentially be out. That's pretty big. I would be going against Vegas, and I would be going against. Okay, here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. If I pick the Texans, I know this is like this logic isn't who do I actually think is going to win. This logic is like why this logic is if you want to put it in a horrible way, I want to look smart, so therefore I'm going to pick the Broncos. Like that's horrible, I know. But here's the thing. The Texans, two of their receivers are questionable. They are missing their tight end. The Vegas favors the Texans. TFG has the Texans ranked as above the Broncos in his power rankings, right? Let me just check that again. That. Yep. Let's see if there's nothing weird in my recommended. Thank goodness. Wait. Okay, you might be wondering why I searched unholy. I'm sorry. Why did I have to do this in a video? Okay. Weird. I searched unholy. I searched in the Hall of Mountain King. I searched dream music. Okay, that might be the weird things he saw in my search. Okay. Now let's search for that franchise guy. And go to the power rankings.
Historic world beater, right? But I'm not.
He has the Texans ranked number 10. Just like I said, why did I even have to look it up? I was just double checking. But anyways, I would be going against TFG's power rankings. I would be going against Vegas if I pick the Broncos. And I have a decently good reason. In fact, I have two decently good reasons to pick the Broncos. The first one is the Texans' injuries are a little bit concerning. And the second reason is that the Texans are a very young and inexperienced team. That's kind of weird. It might sound a bit weird. And also, they're not a perfect team. They're still 6-5. They still lost to the Panthers. They were still like one of the worst teams in the league for the last few years. What if CJ Stroud isn't just this perfect quarterback for the whole? What if CJ Stroud isn't just this perfect rookie quarterback the whole season? I know these are like horrible, sad, like not fun reasons at all to be picking against the Texans. Like I actually would, if I was picking the more fun team, I would pick the Texans. But I'm gonna basically go with the same strategy I went with 2 weeks ago and just pick the less fun team to win because that's how life is. And I actually have some decent reasons. So Broncos. Dude, imagine if this plays out exactly the same as it did 2 weeks ago, where I pick the Broncos as the less fun team and then they win. That would be so funny. And okay, and here's a reason that's not logical, or that there's not a rational reason to pick them. Pick. If you're trying to actually figure out who is more likely to win, this reason should not be one of the reasons. But let's say you're trying to let's say I'm trying to look smart. I know. What if I'm trying to be like, I can't just pick the team with the better record every time, because then what would be the point of the series? what would be the point of doing this exercise? I want to actually like give some quote hot takes once in a while. I want to like I want to go against the grain sometimes, because if I just went with what everyone else was saying, then it doesn't. Then what's the point? Even what point of uploading the video? So, like, the Texans are favored. Okay, stop, stop, stop. I hate myself. Anyways, well, this video went a little bit more quickly than the last two videos, thankfully. Just for fun, I just kind of want to look through all my weeks. I'm just gonna like click each one. Look at this first one. That's funny. I did surprisingly well in the first 4 weeks, other than week 1. Like weeks 2 through 4 were really good. I actually went 12-4. That's the best I've ever done in a week. Anyways. This is the worst week I've ever had. Waited. Again, that's kind of what happened in this week too. I was trying to be smart and try to pick upsets. Last week I tried to pick 4 upsets. I don't know if this is gonna backfire. This is very interesting. There you go. That's my entire season so far. Currently, 111 correct, 69 incorrect. That was 20.